Have you ever stopped to think about how many things in your life are quietly pulling you backward? Old relationships that ended long ago, yet you're still holding on to their memories. Mistakes you made years ago, but the guilt still follows you. Expectations that were never fulfilled, and the pain of that disappointment still lives in your chest. Now imagine a life where you're truly free, a life where the past no longer controls you, where you can embrace every new day as a genuine fresh start. Today, I'm taking you on a journey that has the power to completely change your life. You're listening to Story Reads, where we turn powerful books into life-changing insights. Today, we're exploring Nick Trenton's revolutionary book, The Art of Letting Go. A book that teaches you how to release emotional baggage from your past, move beyond pain, and discover your true inner peace. This isn't just a motivational book, it's a practical guide that applies principles of psychology and neuroscience to real-life situations. So let's begin with a powerful question. Are you truly living your life, or are you one of the millions of people still imprisoned by their past? We all like to say we've moved on, but the reality is often very different. Our subconscious mind stores everything we try to forget, and those stored emotions and memories quietly continue to control our present. Before we can learn the art of letting go, we need to understand why holding on feels so natural. One fundamental principle of human psychology is that we are wired for loss aversion. Losing something feels far more painful to the brain than gaining something new. It doesn't matter whether that thing still makes us happy or not. The mind says, I've invested so much time, so much. A powerful real-life example that comes to mind is Oprah Winfrey. She has openly spoken about her traumatic childhood, the abuse, the poverty, the discrimination she faced. She could have easily remained stuck in a victim narrative, but she chose a different story. She said that what she experienced made her more compassionate, made her stronger, and helped her understand what others feel. She transformed her pain into purpose, and today she inspires millions of people. This is a perfect example of the power of narrative. Now, let's talk about the importance of values. When we stay attached to the past or feel anxious about the future, it's often because our actions and decisions are not aligned with our core values. Values are the guiding principles that define what truly matters to us. For some people, security matters more than adventure. For others, connection matters more than independence. For some, achievement matters more than contentment, while for others, contribution matters more than status. Everyone's values are different, and that's completely okay. The problem begins when we don't have clarity about our values, or when we unconsciously adopt other people's values and mistake society's expectations for our own. For example, many people believe they must be successful, buy a big house, own an expensive car, because society defines success that way. But if deep down their true values are simplicity, meaningful work, and relationships rather than material possessions, they will remain dissatisfied no matter how much external success they achieve. The book offers a powerful values clarification exercise. You imagine yourself at the end of your life, looking back and reflecting on what truly mattered. How would you want people to remember you? What kind of life would you want to say you lived? When you look at life through this lens, clarity suddenly emerges about what is meaningful and what is superficial. From there, you can evaluate your current actions and ask whether what you do every day is truly aligned with your core values. Another useful framework presented is the four-quadrant matrix. On one axis, you have urgent versus not urgent. On the other, important versus not important. Most people spend their time on urgent tasks, whether they are important or not, simply because urgency creates immediate pressure. But a deeply fulfilling life is built by investing time in activities that are important but not urgent, like nurturing relationships, maintaining health, developing skills, and creating meaning. These things don't scream for attention, so we postpone them, and later we regret it. Letting go also means releasing urgent but unimportant activities. These are things that consume your time and energy but add little real value, like unnecessary meetings, mindless social media scrolling, people-pleasing behaviors, or toxic relationships. When you let these go, you create space for what truly matters. Prioritization itself becomes a powerful form of letting go. Now, let's explore another profound concept: impermanence. In Buddhist philosophy, this is called anicca, the fundamental truth that everything changes. Nothing is permanent. Not pain, not pleasure, not success, not failure, not relationships, not circumstances. When this truth is deeply accepted, attachment naturally begins to loosen, because you realize that nothing can be held onto forever. Everything is in motion. Everything is temporary. At first, impermanence may sound depressing, but in reality, it is deeply liberating. It means that the pain you feel right now is not permanent. The difficult phase you are experiencing will pass. This realization brings hope. At the same time, it teaches you to fully appreciate the good moments, because they too are temporary. This understanding highlights the importance of the present moment. Trenton shares a meditation technique called impermanence meditation. In this practice, you deliberately observe how everything is constantly changing. You notice your breath as it flows in and out. You observe your thoughts as they arise and fade away. You watch your emotions rise and fall. You feel body sensations shifting moment by moment. With regular practice, you begin to experience impermanence not just intellectually, but viscerally, and attachment naturally starts to loosen. The book also draws a fascinating parallel from modern physics. Quantum physics has shown that even solid matter is mostly empty space and constantly vibrating. What appears permanent and solid is actually a dynamic flow of energy. This scientific insight validates ancient spiritual wisdom that all form is a temporary manifestation of formless energy. This realization can fundamentally shift how we relate to attachment. On a practical level, embracing impermanence in daily life can be very powerful. When something painful happens, remind yourself that this too shall pass. It may sound cliché, but it is a profound truth, and believing it reduces the intensity of suffering. When something joyful happens, be fully present and enjoy it, instead of trying to capture it or preserve it for the future. Just be there. In relationships, maintain a balance between attachment and appreciation. Love deeply, but don't cling desperately. Appreciate presence without feeling entitled to permanence. It's a delicate balance, but one that develops with awareness and practice. With material possessions, enjoy them while you have them, but don't define yourself by them. Your worth is not measured by what you own. A powerful Zen story illustrates this beautifully. A famous tea master owned a priceless teacup that had been passed down through generations. He loved this cup deeply, yet he would say, "In my mind, this cup is already broken." People found this strange, but he explained that because he accepted its impermanence, he fully appreciated it every time he used it. And when it eventually broke, he would not be devastated because he had already accepted the truth of change. This is detached appreciation at its finest. Now let's talk about an essential dimension of letting go: self-compassion. We are often compassionate toward others, yet incredibly harsh toward ourselves. When we make mistakes, we criticize ourselves brutally. When we struggle, we label ourselves as weak. When we fail, we question our entire worth. This self-criticism is not only painful, it is counterproductive. Research consistently shows that self-compassion leads to better outcomes than self-criticism. Kristen Neff, a leading researcher on self-compassion, identifies 3 core components. The first is self-kindness. treating yourself with the same understanding and care you would offer a close friend during difficult times. The second is common humanity, recognizing that struggle and imperfection are universal human experiences. You are not alone in your pain. The third is mindfulness, a balanced awareness of your thoughts and emotions without suppressing them or over-identifying with them. When these three elements come together, they create powerful healing and growth. Self-compassionate people tend to be more resilient, more motivated, have healthier relationships, and feel more satisfied with their lives. The book introduces a simple but powerful self-compassion exercise called the Comfort Hand exercise. In a difficult moment, place one hand over the other or on your chest. This physical touch is soothing and releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Silently say to yourself, "This is a moment of suffering. Suffering is part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment." This practice may seem small, but its impact can be profound. A study conducted at the University of Texas highlights this clearly. Students were given a task they were likely to fail. One group was encouraged to use harsh self-criticism as motivation, while the other practiced self-compassion. When given the chance to try again, most of the self-critical group gave up, their motivation crushed. The self-compassion group, however, was far more willing to try again and performed better. This challenges the belief that harsh criticism motivates us. In reality, it often demoralizes us. Now let's explore the concept of post-traumatic growth. Traditionally, psychology focused on post-traumatic stress disorder, which makes sense given how deeply trauma can affect people. But researchers later discovered that some individuals don't just survive trauma, they grow from it. They become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. This phenomenon is known as post-traumatic growth. Research identifies 5 main areas of growth. The first is personal strength, realizing you are stronger than you once believed. The second is new possibilities, where old life structures collapse and new paths emerge. The third is improved relationships, as people begin to value deeper, more meaningful connections. The fourth is a greater appreciation for life, where even simple moments feel precious. The fifth is spiritual development, as people explore deeper questions of meaning and purpose. It's important to clarify that post-traumatic growth does not mean trauma is good or necessary. Trauma is painful and harmful. But if someone has experienced trauma, the possibility exists to transform that experience into growth. This transformation requires time, effort, support, and patience. The book outlines a framework for this journey. The first phase focuses on safety and stabilization. The second involves processing the trauma through expression and integration. The third is meaning-making, where you choose how the experience fits into your life story. The fourth is identity reconstruction, redefining who you are without being defined by the trauma. The final phase is integration, where the experience becomes part of your story without dominating it. This journey is not linear. Progress can feel slow, and setbacks are normal. Healing moves in spirals, not straight lines. A beautiful metaphor used here is the Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold. The cracks are not hidden, they are highlighted, making the object even more beautiful and valuable. In the same way, your wounds and scars add depth and character to your life story. Another practical dimension of letting go is environment design. Letting go is not purely internal. Your external environment plays a powerful role. A cluttered space often reflects and reinforces a cluttered mind, while an organized, intentional space supports clarity and calm. Marie Kondo's philosophy of keeping only what sparks joy applies not just to possessions, but to relationships, commitments, habits, and activities. If something adds no value, joy, or growth to your life, it may be time to let it go. Decluttering can be deeply therapeutic. Physically releasing what no longer serves you symbolically supports emotional and mental release. The book suggests starting small, categorizing items, defining clear decision criteria, and taking immediate action. Sentimental items deserve sensitivity, but even here, choosing a few truly meaningful objects is often more powerful than holding on to everything. Digital clutter matters too. Unread emails, unused apps, constant notifications all create mental noise. Regular digital detox and organization can significantly improve peace of mind. Your social environment is equally important. The people you surround yourself with influence your mindset. Choose quality over quantity. A few genuine, supportive relationships are far more valuable than many superficial ones. Now, let's discuss shadow work, a concept introduced by Carl Jung. The shadow represents parts of ourselves we deny or repress, traits like anger, jealousy, or selfishness that we label as unacceptable. Suppressing these traits doesn't eliminate them, it drives them underground where they influence behavior unconsciously. Shadow work involves acknowledging these parts without judgment. Accepting them reduces their power over you and leads to greater authenticity and integration. Jung observed that those who claim they never feel anger or jealousy often suppress their shadow the most, only for it to emerge in unhealthy ways. Finally, let's talk about legacy and contribution. The ultimate purpose of letting go is not just personal peace, but meaningful contribution. Suffering is most fully transformed when it becomes compassionate action. When you help others with the wisdom you've gained, healing comes full circle. The book emphasizes that you are not a victim of circumstances. You are a creator of your experience through your interpretations, choices, and responses. This realization is both empowering and responsible. It invites ownership, not blame. The art of letting go invites you to live a life free from the chains of the past and the anxiety of the future, fully alive in the present. Transformation is possible. Freedom is possible. Peace is possible. Let this not remain intellectual understanding. Apply it. Practice it. Be patient and kind to yourself. Celebrate progress. Learn from setbacks and keep moving forward. When you finally experience the lightness and freedom of true letting go, you'll realize the journey was worth it. Healing is not linear. Trust the process. Trust yourself. And remember, you deserve peace, freedom, and happiness. You already have the strength you need. You just need to recognize it, nurture it, and use it to create a life that truly feels like your own.